Go ahead, Intentional Millionaire. This is all you.
Hey, I just want to first give you and Chicago Rilla a shout out. I really appreciate the conversation because y'all really sharing some good Jews. And I just want to come on as a man to say that there's nothing wrong with a man showing love, because too many times we make it seem like that's a bad thing. Because I know for me, I seen my dad cry one time out of 81 years. And the thing about that is that can actually stunt your love. Because a woman needs to know that a man genuinely is for her. And in this whole space with what's going on right now, I think too many times we spending too much time focused on the lesser issue. And the lesser issue is somebody else. And we got to spend more time looking in the mirror and understanding our own shortcomings. Because I can stand in front of you all and share my story as by me seeing that it caused me to, when I got in relationships, to how to work on how to show affection and love, because my dad didn't really do that. See, and one of the things is, as men, we don't like to talk about these things because we, like Bolo stated, it's shine upon and make you feel like that's being weak. But it's not being weak. It's actually make you stronger because you're more aware and in tune with yourself. And the best thing you can get aware is knowing and understanding yourself, so you can fully maximize on portraying the best that you got of yourself. See, and I just want to say that's one of the things that I really like the conversation, is because too many times as men, we don't want to come together and talk about our issues because they looked upon as something bad. It's looked upon as, men ain't supposed to have these type conversations, but we are. Because if we the leader, we the stronghold, we got to be the example of everything that comes up under our covenant. So if you have a wife or daughter, love got to be part of it. You got to be able to display it. You got to be able to show it. You got to be able to communicate it. And if you can't, then why are we surprised today that it's not a lot of men in the household? So it's a lot of women that's broken from the standpoint of how they look at love. And then there's a lot of men that's broken because they didn't have a man there to show the example of love. So when you really look at everything is broken because the structure was broken. So we got to get back to the men taking their leadership role. And that's why I produced the channel where I know all this, this gender wars going on. But for me, I wanted to produce a channel that was geared around, regardless of what a woman does, a man need to get himself in order. He need to get his stuff in order. He need to be self-aware, because regardless of what she do, he got to still be able to stand the test of time. Because if he don't get in a relationship, the world is going to put him in a situation that he's not going to have no choice. And that means on the street. Okay? So as men, we got to go out and go do what we supposed to do, regardless of the noise, regardless of all the stuff that's going around us. Because I found that for myself, it was the hurt of a woman that elevated me to become the man that I am today. Because I never got into the rage. I took that same energy that I was hurt and crushed emotionally, and I took it to turn it into leveling myself up. And I think as men, that's something we all got to work on. Is that for everybody? No, but it's a good foundation to start. Because too many times when we do get stuck with our emotions, our energy, we sit there and we kind of fester it, and then we take it out in a negative way. So I looked at it as doing it in a positive way, but I had some role models, and I think all men need to get some type of role models in their life. And what helped me was having a brother that had 5 girls by 4 different women, and seeing some of the trauma that he went through. And I always tell any man, especially young men that I kind of work with, I always tell them you can learn what to do and what not to do by watching other people. But you need to be mindful enough to be paying attention and ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Whoever created that was dumb, in my opinion. Because if you don't, how can you consider something a dumb question if you never asked the question? So that's kind of all I got to, everybody has to get back to their spiritual walk. And getting back to your spiritual walk just means that you sit down and you get your relationship strong, regardless of the church, regardless of your parents, regardless of your significant other. You got to get your own walk together, because when your walk together and your faith is strong, everything else seems to come into play. And that's all I really wanted to share today. But great conversation. I appreciate the panel, and we can just rock and roll and continue to press forward and continue to have these tight conversations. I want to thank Uncle Stu for really providing the platform for men to come together to be able to share. And let's just get this whole stigma about women out of our heads, because let's think about it. If you're spending more time on the woman and the hurt, that means that you're not spending more time on leveling yourself up anyway. So that's all I got.